Lady here. Let me start by inserting a trigger warning. Today's vlog is not textbook and could be very upsetting and triggering to some viewers. Yes, discretion is advised. Lady here, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Welcome back to our tribe. Welcome to all my new viewers and new subs. Welcome back to all my original subs. Thank you guys for sticking around. Yes, guys, today's vlog, if you can tell by the title, I'm going to tell you about my near-death experience, my NDE, when I suffered my cardiac arrest. Once again, discretion is advised. This is not a textbook story, not a textbook NDE by any means. Just be aware of that before I start. So guys, I want to give the little backstory for all of my new viewers and all my new subs. On October 11th of 2021, I had my husband drive me to the emergency room with shortness of breath and feeling faint. They ran tests. They found that I was anemic, but they found I had an extremely low heart rate. I chose to stay in the hospital, have more tests run. Because of that, it saved my life. Anyway, guys, so the 12th, the next day, I was receiving iron infusions and blood transfusions on the 12th. And sometime during that day, because I have loss of memory for a lot of the time, all I remember was a bag of iron and a bag of blood hanging on the rod next to me. And then I went into sudden cardiac arrest. This is my experience, and this is the truth. And I want you to know before I get started, I was meant to experience this, and you'll understand why later down the line. The first thing I remember was the black void. I've had to reach out to some people and watch some videos so it could be explained to me, the black void. That's the first thing I remember. I didn't have my body. I was the black void. It was like I was the black void. Everything black. It was the blackest black you can imagine. It was just black. I was the black void. I would say I was in the black void, but there was no body present. I could tell I was the black void. Now, the black void only lasted very quickly, and the next thing I remember, boom, the white was right in front of me. I could tell I wasn't present in the white. It was right here. I could, almost feel it on me, but I wasn't in it. I knew that it was the white, giant white. I didn't feel surrounded. It was like it was right here. It was like I shot down. I didn't see a tunnel. I was already there, and it was like right here in front of me. And I just kind of stared at it. I knew what it was, and I'm like, oh, this is it, the white light. But then the white light began to move and to swirl. It was the most powerful thing. I could see it. I could feel it. It was white. It was like, it was powerful, but yet it was swirling. It was like clouds, and it was gentle but powerful at the same time. I cannot explain it. It's right here. The crazy thing is I did not step into it. I did not move. And that lasted a little longer than the black void. It was long enough for me to recognize the white. I didn't say the white light. I just like, oh my God, the white. And it just began to swirl, clouds, white, bright clouds swirling. But when I looked at it, it swirled. It was gentle, but I could feel so much power from it. And the next thing I remember, bam, this is the non-textbook part of my near-death experience. Trigger warning, discretion is advised. This is where I remember slamming back into, I was on a gurney. And I know I was on a gurney and my body was violently shaking. This was scary, painful. It was horrible. And all I remember the first time was my hand was violently shaking. I was reaching up and the bright light was above me and I was violently shaking. And I remember looking over to my left, but this time nothing happened, I don't think. And next thing I remember, again, boom, I'm right there at the white. It is literally, I'm like right on it. I'm looking at it. It's swirling. It's very powerful. So powerful, this white swirling mass of light and cloud. It's like clouds swirling. And there was no tunnel. I felt like I had surpassed what they call the tunnel. I was already there right at the front of this thing. And again, I just looked at it. I didn't move into it. I did not move into it. I knew what it was. Then again, boom, I'm back in a gurney. I'm violently shaking. I look over and somebody is holding my hand. And I told them, it's the white. I can see the white. I tell them, but I keep coming back. I'm scared. And I was just like, they're holding my hand. They are not speaking. They are white. They are glowed white. They're wearing white. Everything is just surrounded by white. And I can't, at first, I don't recognize who it is, but I'm just telling them, I see the white. I'm scared. Why didn't, I'm not saying it, but why am I coming back here? Why am I put in this pain, this discomfort? I'm violently shaking and jerking. And again, I go back, boom, to the white. And it's white, and it's not ending. It's just there. It is massive. And I can see it's swirling. It's bright, it's white, it's powerful. Once again, I knew what it was. I did not move into it. Now, guys, I'm going to tell you, I was meant to experience this. In life, we have a lot of decisions to make. A lot of these decisions are going to be very hard, very painful, very uncomfortable. And these decisions that we make in our lives are going to either take us one way or another. Also, this experience was pure battle of good and bad, because I had the white and then I had the gurney where my body is violently shaking. It's painful, it's scary, but the whole time I've got someone over here holding my hand. They are dressed in white, everything white, glowing, just white and glowing. And I haven't been able to discern, hey, was this a guardian angel? Was Jesus holding my hand? And I did finally just say, Jesus, were you holding my hand during that experience? Because if you were, thank you so much. And then one last time I was put before the white, and I'm just standing there. You guys, don't ask me why I did not move into the white, because at this time I wasn't feeling afraid. I wasn't scared. I wasn't afraid. I wasn't jumping for joy or happy. I was just experiencing it. I knew that it was the white light. I knew exactly what it was. In my gut, I felt like if I moved through right just into that white, swirling, bright cloud of light, that I was going to be right there in heaven. I feel like that once I left the black void, I surpassed the tunnel of light that people talk about. I was there. And literally all I had to do was break the veil of that white, and I would have been in heaven. I would have already been there. That's what my gut feeling was feeling. So I had a choice to make. Now I know that God has a plan for us, but I'm telling you, I was meant to experience this. And excuse me, I was meant to experience this, and I was actually given the choice of going through that white light or staying here. And, or maybe I was just meant to experience both sides, and then I'm meant to be here to share all of it with you guys. It wasn't really long. The person or the spirit or Jesus or the guardian angel that was holding my hand never said a word to me. And I do know that last time that I was brought down from the white light back to that gurney, I'm violently shaking. My hand is reaching towards the light. Excuse me, guys. I don't know why I'm coughing. Tears were now pouring down my face. I'm very scared, very upset. I'm being jerked back and forth between the two. And finally, I shouted out, "It's the white light, and now I'm scared. What is happening? What is going on? The white light, the white light. I'm so scared. Why is this happening?" And at that last moment, I looked over. I got a great view of the person holding my hand, but I never discerned whether it was a guardian angel, whether it was Jesus, but they were there the whole time, and they knew what was happening, and they know why. I'm pretty sure that Jesus was holding my hand. Why, you ask? Because right before I went to the hospital, I had been feeling kind of poorly, and every day I just kept asking Jesus to please hold my hand. Please hold my hand. Whatever's going on, please hold my hand. And that is why I really believe that the person sitting next to the gurney holding my hand was Jesus. Was it a person? No. If you want to know how I know it wasn't a person, because when I went into cardiac arrest, I was been given CPR, and I'm pretty sure I got defibrillated. You cannot touch a person when a defibrillator is being activated on a person's chest. And so, that last time, I'm reaching up, I'm violently shaking. Like I said, it was painful, it was scary, it was awful. Tears are pouring down my face, and I'm screaming, "The white light, the white light." I'm so scared now, the white light. And like I'm reaching for the white light. My guess is Jesus was telling me, this is not your time. You have a lot of decisions to make in your life, and you have a lot to share. I'm telling you, even though this was rough, I was meant to experience it, and I was meant to come back. I was meant to tell you guys about it. Now, at that point, believe it or not, the next thing I remember, I open my eyes. I am in a hospital room. A nurse looks over at me and says, "Well, I think it's time to open the blinds and get some light in this room," or something to the lines of, "Well, I think now it's time to let some sunshine and some light into this room." And she opened the blinds, and I'm telling you, heaven poured in on me. And I do remember a few minutes later continuing to ask, what happened? What happened to me? I said it for hours. I said it for days. I did not remember the NDE for a couple of days. After I was fully out of my medically induced coma on the ventilator, it came back to me. It flooded me. It stuck with me. I began to remember more and more about the experience. And I was like, yep, I remember this. I remember the big, white, endless, swirling clouds. I remember the horror of shaking on a gurney and someone holding my hand. You guys, this is truly, really what happened to me while I was in a cardiac arrest. I know that my heart had stopped for 8 to 10 minutes at least. My husband does not tell me much. He was the witness. I never asked the doctors much about it at the time, but I know it was a good 8 to 10 minutes, if not more, that I was whisked away down into the lab where they were taking care of me. Yes, I had an emergency, what they call cath pacemaker inserted in my thigh to my heart. I had that done, and then I was told that on the 14th of October my pacemaker was inserted, and on the 15th of October I woke out of the medically induced coma. I finally came to, and that's when the nurse opened the blinds and let heaven into my room, as I call it. The sunlight just poured in and I could feel it. You guys, my life will never be the same, and I just wanted to share this with you and remind you that we have a lot of choices to make in life, a lot of decisions to make. They're never going to be easy, but we have to make those choices. We have to choose wisely. Every choice that we make is going to impact how our life goes and flows and finishes out at the end. And it's all up to me and all up to you to make the right choices, because like I said, I could feel the battle between the light and the dark during this experience. But in the end, I stayed on the dark to be brought back to share this with you, when I could have just split that light wide open or just stepped into it. It was right here. I could feel it, and I was just right up on it. I was not a part of it yet. And I chose, for whatever reason, not to walk in. I chose to stay here and battle with those evil forces, the battle of good and evil. So, if you're not a believer in God, I'm going to tell you this. You can't be on the fence about it. You just can't. You're either all in or all out. Put on the whole and full armor of God and fight the good fight with every good intention that you have in your heart and your soul. Because your soul one day, it's going to make the same trip that mine made. I'm sorry, guys. Your soul is going to make that trip one day, and you're going to have a very, very tough decision to make, and you ain't going to be able to make it, because God, at the very end, He decides if you get to go into that white, swirling, powerful mass, or if you go below the bar that I battled. There is a place lower, deeper, and scarier than what I experienced. And you got to make the right decisions now while you have the chance. Every little choice that you make each day is very powerful, and it's going to decide your future and how your future turns out. And I can't explain it enough to you guys. And I love you all very, very, very much. This YouTube channel is so important to me. It reaches out to hundreds and thousands and millions of people. I love every one of you, heart and soul, very much. I want to thank you guys for watching this vlog with me. And just know that I will be back with more vlogs. I've had some experiences since I've come back, and I will share some of those with you as well. I love you guys all very, very much. And as always, I'm going to vlog you later.